Hey artists, so in honor of Veterans Day this year, I thought it might be nice to draw inspiration from the Impressionist paintings that we just saw by Monet and use poppies as our theme and create our very own poppy field. I personally love poppies. Growing up in Ireland, because in Ireland, England, France, Australia, people actually wear poppies on their shirts on Veterans Day. And I just remember growing up as a kid and just loving that day because I got to wear this beautiful poppy, which was such a unique flower that I didn't see very often. And they're just so beautiful and delicate. So I thought it might be a nice tribute to Veterans Day, and you guys can learn how to draw poppies like this. So meet me down here and we'll get started. So to paint our field of poppy, guys, the first thing we're going to need is obviously some paper and some various shades of green paint and also some yellow paint just to add some dimension. So we're going to be using 2 shades of green and yellow to cover our entire background with a green color. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually print the poppies using either a sponge. We're going to use an old sponge that we can cut to make the poppy shape, or you can even use a small baby potato, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But first, let's get started with our background. So I will start with some green. I'm going to choose this shade of green, and I'm just sort of going to cover my background with the green. I'm just going to do 1 layer of this shade of green all over my page. And then I'm going to come back in with my different shades of green and yellow to add some broad strokes of color, just like the Impressionists did. So I will speed this up and let you guys watch as I paint. So once you've finished covering your entire page with color, you're going to set it aside to dry while we prepare our printing materials. But let me just show you something really quickly before I do. So notice that I did not blend all of my colors together, guys. I actually purposely did some broad brush strokes of 2 shades of green and yellow and really let those individual colors stand on their own. Does that make sense? So I'm not blending all the colors together. I'm just doing strokes so that the colors still show. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. Now, for printing our poppies, as I said, we're going to use either a baby potato or a sponge. So first up, let me show you the baby potato method. So for this one, you're definitely going to need the support of a guardian, guys. So go find a grown-up, ask them to help you with a sharp knife and a baby potato if you have one at home. And let me show you what to do. So you're simply going to cut the potato in half so that you have a nice circular shape like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create little incisions, like little triangular shapes. And you're simply going to cut it out of the potato like this. And you're going to do this 4 times because poppies have 4 petals. Like so. And now this is beginning to look like the petals of a poppy, something like this. And you can even stick it on a fork to make it easier for your printing. The other thing that you can use is simply an old kitchen sponge, and you can use some scissors to cut out a circle and then do what we did with the potatoes and simply trim with the scissors to make 4 individual little notches, like that. So that you would end up with something that looks like this. So it gives the illusion of a poppy shape. You see what I mean? All right. My painting is not fully dry, but for the purposes of the video, we're going to proceed anyway. So I'm just going to be very careful not to smudge my colors. So here's what we do with the printing. So we're going to need some red paint for our poppies and some black paint for the center feature of our poppy. So I'm going to dip in the red like this, and I'm simply going to print a poppy shape. And it does not have to be perfect. Some of them will look a little smudgy, but that's okay. Because with Impressionism, it's really just about getting colors on the paper so that when you look at the entire painting as a whole, it will look like a field of poppies, and it doesn't matter if each individual poppy is not exact. That's the whole thing about Impressionism painting. Beautiful. I'm loving this. This is kind of fun, guys. I haven't done potato printing since I was little. And you just continue this across your entire page. Now, as we get further into the background of my picture, so this area would be the foreground and this is the background, you can, if you wish, use a smaller poppy. So I'm going to switch to my sponge to create some smaller poppies as they go further away in the painting. I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. And to make them even smaller again, you can even use the tip of a pencil to get some really tiny little poppies in the distance. Oh dear, no mistakes, it's all good. I'll just swipe that off. And I know that these don't have the 4-petal shape because I'm using the pencil, but that's okay because they're so far away. I'm just giving the illusion of color and the illusion of a poppy being there. You can go back over any ones that you think might need a little bit of a restamp. Oops, more paint. There we go. Next, for the center of our flower, we can actually use that pencil topper. I'm just going to clean it with my hand because I don't have a paper towel handy. So just the end of a pencil. You could use a thin paintbrush if you have one. And I'm going to just dip it into the black paint and form a poppy center for each flower. You can let your paint dry, guys, before you do this. It's a little trickier when your paint is wet. But I just want to do it so that you guys can see the effect. And you repeat this for all of your poppies, even your little ones in the background. So that's it, guys. A beautiful field of poppies in honor of Veterans Day. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I can't wait to see you for the next one.